Literally, debut. It's got to be when she plays Caitlin Clark. So they obviously ended up debuting at All-Star Weekend because Caitlin didn't play when they were in Chicago, and Caitlin didn't play, or Caitlin's not playing in this game, so they're debuting at All-Star Weekend. The plan was to literally go and use Caitlin Clark for the launch of it. And I'm like,
Angel Reese stepped into the spotlight like she was ready for a big welcome, but it quickly became clear that the excitement just wasn't there. Her attempt to grab attention felt more like a failed PR move than a true moment. What's more, she seemed to believe she could ride the wave of Caitlin Clark's success, not by matching her skill or star power, but just by being nearby.
We shall never know peace. At least when it comes to the WNBA space. It was this ad that Angel put out, and I don't know if this is part of a larger campaign where it's going to be similar themes in similar places, but because of where the WNBA All-Star Game is, and because of who plays on the Indiana Fever in the home city of the WNBA All-Star Game, it's going to raise some eyebrows, let's say.
The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game was meant to be Angel Reese's big moment. She had everything lined up, the launch of her new Reebok shoe, a bold marketing push with her "I'm in your city" campaign, all set to unfold in Caitlin Clark's hometown of Indianapolis. She expected huge attention, big sales, and maybe even record-breaking buzz. But instead, she got a tough reminder: you can't fake star power. And building your entire brand around someone else's spotlight? That almost never ends well.
Angel Me-Bound Prayer Reese. You only relevant because you keep bringing up my precious CC. You want to pull up with your Billboard Reebok ad in Indiana talking about you in her trap. Man, stop it. You out of there. You hear me? My precious CC don't be in no trap. Real talk. You hear me? At the end of the day, she don't do those type of things. Yes. You hear me? Don't put that with her name at the end of the day. If you be in a trap, that's your business. You hear me? Whatever the case may be, that ain't nothing to be proud of.
Let's address the obvious: Angel Reese's signature Reebok shoe. The Angel Reese one, launched in two colors, Diamond Dust and My Bounds, was hyped as the next big thing in women's basketball shoes. Reebok and Reese went all in, planning a major release right around the All-Star Game to grab attention. The timing? Meant to be perfect. But in reality, it couldn't have been worse.
It's one of those things where it's like it's very clear that one side is absolutely trying to milk whatever rivalry there is. Whatever rivalry there is, it is one side trying to do everything they can to keep it together, because that is where they're going to be at their most relevant.
Reese built her entire marketing plan on one big miscalculation: that Caitlin Clark's appearance at the All-Star Game would bring in huge viewership, and that those eyes would automatically turn into shoe sales. She wasn't trying to outshine Clark or carve out her own story. Instead, she bet that just being in the same arena while Clark stole the show would be enough to boost her brand.
But there is the part of me that's like, is this really necessary? And shouldn't Angel Reese be able to market herself at this point without invoking or even, insinuating some sort of attachment to Caitlin Clark? Because if I'm being honest about it, people say that moment was huge. It will live forever. That moment will live forever. But Caitlin Clark was on this trajectory already. And if anyone has benefited more from the attachment, at least from an attention standpoint, it's been...
And here's the twist: Caitlin Clark got injured. Just days before the All-Star Game, she went down with a groin injury. That meant the league's biggest attraction, the one player who could turn a quiet Tuesday night game in Wisconsin into primetime TV, would be on the sidelines, not the court, dressed in street clothes instead of lighting up the scoreboard.
So the WNBA's All-Star Game went down 36%. That is a lot. That's more than a third from last year. Last year was over 3.4 million people, and it went down to 2.1. Now, you could say is a success. Yeah, for women's sport, that is still a lot of people. But at the same time, it really isn't a success, because think about it. It's the only sport playing. It's the only game that's going, and you only could draw that. So, and this is with all the stars. Remember, guys.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe, because the numbers tell a story no script could top. In 2024, the WNBA All-Star Game featuring Caitlin Clark pulled in a record-breaking 3.44 million viewers. It was more than a game, it was a cultural event that had everyone talking. Now jump to 2025. With Clark sidelined by injury, viewership sank to 2.19 million, a staggering 36% drop. And the most painful part? That drop happened in her own hometown, at an event built entirely around her star power.
But the WNBA All-Star Game ratings have come out, and all I could think of right off the bat was 4 little letters. F-A-F-O. F around and find out. You bleep around and find out what this league looks like without Caitlin Clark being involved in your biggest events. Kathy Engelbert, this should be a perfect example of why you need to get your officiating cleaned up and you need to have a talk with your players in the league.
Angel Reese watched her marketing plan fall apart in real time. Ticket prices, once expected to soar, took a nosedive the moment Caitlin Clark was ruled out, dropping 48%, from $121 to just $64. Even the resale market couldn't rescue the hype. Fans just weren't willing to pay top dollar for an all-star game without the league's biggest draw. And nothing highlighted the misstep more than Reese's "I'm in your city" campaign, a bold attempt at owning the spotlight in Indianapolis, Clark's actual hometown, while Clark was sidelined and couldn't even take the court.
WNBA All-Star Weekend is supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
The campaign went all in, billboards, social media blasts, and bold messaging that screamed territorial takeover. Reese even posted Instagram videos with captions like "I'm in your city" and promos titled "Walk in your trap." Take over your trap. But here's the issue: when you're trying to take over someone's city, and that person isn't even there to defend it, it doesn't come off as bold, it looks desperate. Fans picked up on it instantly. Social media lit up with criticism. One user wrote, "She can't even promote her own shoe without using Caitlin Clark." Another joked, "There are more photographers than fans, LOL." The whole thing felt like someone trying to claim a win by default, like showing up to a race after your rival's been sidelined, then celebrating like you earned it.
You can barely dribble. You miss layups on purpose, and they record them as rebounds. You be stat padding. You don't elevate your players. You went to a stacked LSU team. You hear me? My precious CC owns you. You want to know the record? She is 5-2 against you. You beat her in college one time. That championship. But what happened to the year after that? She sent you home. You hear me? And waved to your coach. You hear me? At the end of the day.